Good evening and welcome to another edition of African Americans Ain't Africans, the think show that proves without a shadow of a doubt that the so-called African American didn't find his way to America in the trunk of the ship. I'm your host, the Indigenous.
What are you laughing?
Oh man, you're something else. As on Friday night, have we been doing in the last couple of weeks, we have a representative from the Accowmackes of the Eastern Shores of Virginia joining us tonight. And one of the things we have to remember is the information we get from ourselves checkmates all the information we get from everybody else, because everybody else is looking out for their best interest. And that's what we're trying to do here at African American. No, not doing. Think for yourself. Think for yourself with the information you get those who are, in with nature, who know their background, who know their people, who's bringing this stuff to everybody, this information. You're going to get your mind blown tonight. So without any further ado, I want to welcome from the Accowmackes of Virginia, the Guardian, Lisa Cypress. Hi, Lisa. How you doing?
Hey, Aseo. Hey, how you doing, everybody? Hello, chat. The best chat in the universe. Hey, thank you so much, Carrie, for having me on. Once
No,
again, I appreciate it.
thank you
The
for being here.
Accowmackes appreciate it. All right.
No, we appreciate it. No, we appreciate it. So I thank you very much.
Yeah.
You know me, I like to get right in it because when you go to you hear them, you want to get right into the meat of it.
Right.
I don't want to waste no time.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna get in. We're gonna get into your presentation in a minute, but we want to hit some current events.
Right.
So some of the things that you see going on, we give you some information on it so you can kind of be aware of it, so we can all kind of be on the same page.
Right. Let's not miss anything.
Yes. So what we want to talk about with this COVID thing is what you were saying about, I think he's a poet, Kamau Bell.
Oh yeah, Kamal Bell is what is he, like a comedian? Comedian, really?
I don't know.
Comedian, a poet, whatever. Some kind of entertainer. Anyway, Kamal Bell has put evidently, like he claims he's invested his money into doing these ads to promote Negro people or African American or blacks. I know blacks is a term that they're pushing now. They scared of African American. I don't know if y'all noticed, but blacks has been the term of choice now. But anyway, he's pushing blacks to get the vaccine. And what's so funny, man? He was on the news talking about it. He's got all these nurses and doctors and stuff saying, "Oh, you think it's gonna," talking about all the things that we're talking about in the internet. "Oh, there's no tracking device, silly. Get the shot. That's ridiculous. Oh, it's not going to change your DNA. It saves lives. Get the shot." Stuff like that from, doctors and nurses with a little sass and flavor. I don't know what they're actors. I don't know if they're just stupid professionals. I don't know if they're highly compensated. I don't know if they're just, most of them probably just dumb. But basically, he gathered up all these dumb professionals, so-called professionals, and has them trying to convince, us indigenous people to take a daggone shot. When we're perfectly healthy. You're perfectly healthy. The numbers are going down to where the people ain't wearing masks in several states. And you still are being pushed to take a vaccine. Then when the reporter said, "So Kamal, have you had your vaccine?" Of course, you've had your. "Oh no, I haven't. I haven't. Unfortunately, I'm not one of those populations that's in California that is actually has access to the vaccine. If you know of somebody who can get me the vaccine, I need it." Wait a minute. You're gonna tell me you can't even get it? Please. You can't even get one. But you're doing ads to tell other people to get it.
Yeah, I think that's important for us, to see through that And this is why we have Lisa on. So things like that. A lot of times we overlook that, and Lisa brings it to the forefront. They have all these people pushing, ministers, everybody coming
Yeah.
out trying to get us to take. Well, I mean, what's up with that?
Right. What is that? He hasn't even gotten the vaccination himself. Yet he spent all this money, so called, and all this definitely a lot of time collecting these individuals to do these different interviews to say, oh, us Negro people need to get the daggone shot. Us indigenous people must get the vaccine. It's not unsafe. it's not. It's not going to change your DNA. That's silly. And that's just what a lot of us want to hear. Oh yeah, that's just a bunch of conspiracy stuff. They all they want to do is hear it from some individual that has a title, because we love a title anyway, and that's all we want is a cosign. Everybody wants somebody to cosign what's already in their brain.
What do you think about? Because it's a lot of people saying they're still going to wear their mask even if they open the state up.
Well, my cousin who says she is gonna wear her mask to her tomb, and she got all kinds of masks, and that's fine because she has her own. A lot of people have different motivations. Her mother died in the early 50s, and she's in her 60s, and she's just very amazed that she actually made it to this age, and she's very beautiful, and she wants to stay that way. So she is not. She has told me she's gonna wear her mask to her grave, and that is her prerogative. She can do so. That's fine. But she's not taking no vaccine, and she's never taken a flu shot. Trust and believe that the flu shot, is what has transmitted this sickness. And when they skipped this flu shot this past year, they actually lost momentum. That's why people are getting better. Oops, oops. We stopped. We didn't put more germs in the mix. We forgot to put more germs in the mix, and so now people are getting better. So now what do you do? People didn't take as many COVID vaccines as they anticipated. People are getting better. Hmm. So now what do? You let them loose. You, and if this vaccine has the ability to super spread without symptoms, that's the truth within the lie, right? Because a normal virus, you can't spread it without symptoms. You got to cough it onto somebody, cough it into somebody. It cannot just be in the atmosphere. I don't know about this vaccine and how it's able to transmit. So perhaps these people can be activated to emit the virus without a cough. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if they. I really don't think they're that smart to really actually have it work correctly. Knowing how doctors are really and scientists are today, I don't believe they actually have it together. But in their mind's eye, I'm sure they're thinking that they have this kind of technology and this is going to work. But I don't believe it's going to work. However, why in the world would it just fade out if it was naturally a pandemic? First of all, pandemic, your half of your family would be decimated. Like that's what a pandemic is. It's like everybody's dying. The homeless never got a hit at all. The nursing home people died in large numbers and they were isolated. Why they died? Because every nursing home patient gets a flu shot. Period. And let's see here in this population, the Mexicans, they actually visit their loved ones if they happen to be in a nursing home. And all of the Mexicans get flu shots, nursing home or not. They are very very dedicated here in this part of Texas to get the flu shot. And when you get it, you get the COVID, and it's just a terrible terrible flu, which turns into a horrible horrible viral pneumonia and ARDS. And but except with the patients in this whole past year, the doctors have been told following the orders of the CDC and Dr. Fauci instead of doing what they would have done the year before, which would be very aggressively treating it. They were like, hands off. It's COVID. It's different. It's different.
So
They
what do
don't
you think?
got they don't got a chance. And your loved one's isolated, and your loved one is scared, and your loved one's looking at the news and they're like, "Oh my God, I have a death sentence. I've got the the CVID." So it was a self fulfilling prophecy that had a lot of media manipulation that really got into the minds and hearts of people and made them die, and as well as the profound neglect and the profound ignorance in the healthcare system, because you got a whole lot of ignorant nurses and doctors who sat up there and believed what they were seeing according to the media, not according to their own scientific thinking. I was
I
like,
mean, no,
y'all,
no, no.
viruses need a vector. You can't just, it doesn't just float in the air. It can't live in the air. HIV didn't come from you touching another daggone a person that had HIV. You didn't get it off a toilet seat. You had to get a transmission person to person. Same with the virus of this. It has to go person to person, or somebody injects it into you. How did they start HIV? They traveled overseas. Oh, you got to get this immunization. Boom. You go in there to get your wild on in another country. Boom. You getting them immunized with what? Something that kills a bunch of people. Come on
So
now.
what do you think the end game to all of this is?
What there? I mean, there. It's gonna be everything, every assault possible until they reach their set goal, which is to decrease the population. Right. So
Do you think they got? Do you think they got a lot with this? With this last thing?
I don't think this last thing is going to be effective. I think it's going to end up being like a weather. They're going to have to use weather and economic just decimation. They're going to jobs are going to go away. People are going to be starving. It's going to be a long, ugly process because this did not work. Actually, we might wish that it did work when it gets to what it actually is going to end up being. We're going to probably say, "I wish they had just killed a whole bunch of us with the daggone vaccine, with the damn vaccine, instead of it not being that." Because I'm telling you, I don't believe they're going to stop. I don't believe they're going to say, "Well, let's sit and work and let's give it up and start in a few years later when they're dumber," or let's make them dumber and wait a while and see what. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
I just feel like, okay, and then when you see how they think, you'll know, like we get more into this program, you'll see it's just like they're not gonna give up. There's a desperation and a determination that we just can't comprehend. So yeah, if this whole let the mask go and let's see if we can inoculate them again in some other way is not effective, which I do not feel it is, and I do not feel that this whole disease is even strong enough to kill the indigenous people. I mean, it's killing others, like it's killing the Hispanics. But what are the Hispanics? They're European mix, highly European mix. Why is it not killing white people? They staying out the way. First of all, first of all, the white people in the know are staying the hell away from all of it. Okay, the white people that are poor and ignorant are getting killed. Nobody's talking about the poor, ignorant white folks that is dying. Nobody's talking really about the Hispanics, and they're the massive number of victims of this that are dying. Nobody's telling you the truth about anything. So, I mean, it is what it is. But a lot of hillbillies and trailer park people are gone. And that's the goal because they really don't want nobody, no peasants. And the only peasants they want are peasants they can control as slaves. And as we talk about this later, slavery
Wow.
can be a beautiful thing. Have you ever known anybody who had a slave? Like, I've known someone who has a slave. Like, seriously. Years ago, when I lived in Texas, I don't even know why I'm talking about this. Years ago, when I lived in Texas, I had a friend. She's Honduran. She looks like us, exactly like us. You wouldn't know she was from Honduras, until she opened her mouth. And she had a couple of babies, and I had a couple of babies, and she ended up with an auntie, an auntie who lived in a closet. I guess she sent home for some auntie, and man, this You know how you bring when you bring a woman into your house, and you one of us indigenous people, we know what to bring in our house, and we bring the most broke down looking thing we can get. Like, they got to be half bent over, they got to look like who beat you in the face, and Auntie looked like this. But Auntie was there to cook and take care of them kids, and keep their life happening. And they only lived in an apartment, and they had a full auntie. Okay, so people have slaves, aunties. Okay, it made for a very convenient life for all of them, I am sure. But just imagine where that you have all the money in the world, and you're used to having people serve you and do that, and you really get off on the fact that you can have them do it for free and willingly. And you can put a chip in somebody, or some nano chip in something, and have somebody do whatever you want. You ain't even got to pay them. And there is a power in knowing that you don't even have to pay them. They get off on that. We might not get off on that in a big way, but a lot of people get off on that. And that is what this is about. They do not want any broke people unless they working for free. That's it. Pure slavery. That's the way. No more you having a mind, or they don't even want to pretend that you got to say. That's bullshit that they don't want to deal with. Thank you. Hey, yeah, my, hey, that's stuff they don't want to deal with. They don't want to deal with putting up a facade anymore. That's what this whole thing is over. No more facades. Let's get rid of the peasants. And the only peasants we're going to have are slaves. And you think they're going to just stop the agenda when they got weather at the disposal? It's not as exact as COVID or pandemic can be directed, but it can still decimate. Look at New Orleans. Look at the areas that are getting largely hit. These poor areas are being flooded and stuff. They know what they're doing. So New Orleans, they flooded, and the people still came back. And even though so many people were decimated, so many people survived and came back. We are strong. We are an amazing people, and they still gonna gun for us, and they still want us gone. One of the oldest indigenous populations with all this history, they want them gone. And even on the eastern shore where my people are from, they were decimated by this weather and everything, and the COVID. Lack of jobs already, and you going to cut down and close down what's there, and you can't hardly eke out a living. Don't got no running water to begin with. Come on now. They trying to cut you off at the knees, and they're succeeding. They're not going to succeed, but they feel like they're succeeding. And then you look at this whole endeavor, this whole year endeavor of a bunch of us thinking, oh, I seen Joseph die, and Susie and Pearl died, and Nancy, and they're just like, oh, I know 3 people that died of the COVID, or 5. 5 people does not make a pandemic. You have 5 people die every year. Every year. But this year, because they called it COVID and told you it was a devastating thing, you are scared. Congratulations. It worked in your brain. It didn't work in reality, but in your brain, which is your reality, it worked. Terrible.
It worked. Well, Lisa, let's get into what you came here tonight for,
Oh boy, that's a lot.
because you want to share some stuff, and what Lisa's talking about tonight, it can apply to your family if you hello,
Talk about the fact that the Gingaskins is everybody's history, because our
right?
history is all the indigenous people's history. All right, it is everything, and we've got all the records, the court records, the you know the historical records to back it up. And so when we stand in front, everybody walks through the door, everybody walks through the gates, because we're in the front, because we got it. Check, check, check. Okay. The Gingaskan reservation that they have in this sign, this Gingaskan, right? This Genghis Reservation is an anagram in itself. So if you unscramble the first part of Genghis, it says nigger skins. Nigger skins, although they said that we were mixed with African, or not really, they didn't say African back in the day. It said mixed with Negro or blacks, coloreds probably back in the day. They said we were mixed with coloreds and not Indian, okay? Because the people had married the whatever, the Negroes or the coloreds, okay? So, but you see that the reservation, which was established, the first reservation in the nation, which is really a prison camp, it's what a reservation is, a prison camp, if you didn't know, which was a prison camp that was established in 1640. 1640, they changed our name from Accowmackes to Genghis, which is nigger skins. Nigger skins. And then the egotistical crazy people, the egotistical crazy people try to tell you you not you always you mix, you not yourself, but yet they gave you the name to tell you always been a nigga. So you stupid, you lie, and your dad going told the truth at the same time, you dummy. You thought we couldn't figure it out. And then I was talking to the University of Virginia this week. They had me as a guest, and I was talking to the students, and I said, "Look, how is it that you go to school and the first thing, as you know, me as a in the 1970s, first thing I
I'm gonna
hear is,
bring.
hello,
I'm gonna bring that. I'm gonna bring that back because I don't know how I lost that.
what?
That Ginga skin
Oh, the
picture.
Genghis skin, yeah, nigger
Yeah,
skins.
go ahead
Yeah.
and talk. I'm gonna bring it up
Oh,
because
you should
that
have saw the
was the
faces.
truth.
You should have saw the faces in the classes when I said nigger skins. I mean, if faces all dropped.
But you can
They
see
all
nigga. You can see nigga in the word.
right.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
right.
That's
Thanks.
why I want.
Big ups to
That's why
my
I was
daughter
trying to bring.
Naomi Cypress. She was like, she said it all casually, like it was so obvious, and it's like crazy that it wasn't obvious to me, but but and it's funny that what was obvious to me is that Ginga skins ain't a word in no English way. Like there's no other word Ginga. There's no
Right,
it's not this their word. They renamed us. But there's
right.
no other word in the English language related to that word. And I was like, why would this word just appear out of nowhere? And then when she said it's an anagram, Mom, I was like, what? Dang. They are obnoxious and
Yeah,
rude. The
right,
audacity for them to put it in our faces like
right,
that in plain sight, and then
right.
deny it 200 years later when they wanted to take our land in 1813. Come on now. Come on now. To this day. To this day. Anyway, my little paper off.
Okay, I got it back.
All right. So basically, with that being said, Ginga skins, and the fact that they changed us, okay, and the fact that they got the name, it's all in blood. They've got the daggone history engraved. How are you gonna deny that the Negro person that you see today, that the colored people, were not the Indians, when you already left all the tracks and trails in place for us to tell you, yeah, we are the Indians. That's why I say the Accowmackes are the folks. The Accowmackes are all of us. Everybody, in a sense, is an Accomack Indian. Not that, don't be trying to join our private group because but we do have a public group. And I want to tell you guys that on our public group, we have vaccination declination forms. If you want to not make sure you have a paper to say I'm not taking that vaccine, you can come on the Accowmack open page, Accowmack American Indian page, and join the group. And we have forms right there that you can print off and use for your family and your friends or whoever. Okay, it's a general one, it's not an Accowmack one. So, we want to make sure everybody's good and everybody's protected. And if you do join the Accowmack page or Accowmack group or come on it, definitely look on our website and look at our And don't hesitate to give a donation to our PayPal because we're trying to do work. We're trying to put in work. So anyway, basically, the Gingaskins, the Gingaskins are you. The Gingaskins have the oldest continuous court records in the nation. We got all kinds of people that was free, all kinds of people that lead to a person that says Indian, point blank, Indian, 1600s, Indian, 1500s, Indian. What's your identity? Indian. In my family alone, there's just like at least 6 or 8 that just say Indian. So probably more than that. It's just ridiculous. But anyway, it's a lot of people. I mean, there's not a people that you could actually identify who actually, because we're on the peninsula. Now, if you look back, the picture that I'm sitting in front of, you see this? This is sky was a sky that I was sitting on the beach on. I was on this beach and this circle in the sky appeared. Okay. And I was drumming in the sand and I drummed it up and I drummed it away. And so this is the location where we have the summit. This is where we have the summit is in the eastern shore of Virginia, and that's where we're from. And because it's a peninsula, water on 3 sides, we have a very close genealogy. Most of us have four grandparents from the same Accowmack lineage. That's why I say we got the juice that's gonna push everybody through the gates. Okay, come on, let's get this. So the Accomack, oh yeah, beautiful, well developed. It's not. It's not developed. It's well for some reason it's not developed. Nah, baby, there is a reason why it's not developed. It's the same reason why they're doing that, using it as the platelet, the template rather, for what they're doing to America right now. They are willing to decimate any growth in order to get rid of the indigenous people. So that's what's happening in America today. They're letting all businesses fall. They've already sent all trade and all development and all industry out of the country. That was on purpose, right?
Yep.
Now there's no jobs, there's no trade. They've made education unreachable, not just for us, but for their own kids. Their own kids are in debt to go to school.
Yeah.
So, and it's not just, but they don't care if it's because their kids never need to go to school, first of all, and they never gonna be in debt. So those poor people, those slaves, those white slaves, they don't care about. They don't care about them. It's not a color thing, it's a bloodline thing. Can I say it again? It really is not a color thing, it's a bloodline thing. It's all about the bloodline. And these people who are in place have the bloodline of the people who were here in the beginning and who got this party started. These are, as a matter of fact, as far as my daughter says what a lot of people are very esoteric and they talk in terms that are very above us, as far as like you know entities and spirits and time zones and time travel and whatever and planetary stuff and we talk about but what she says is that these people are actually still controlling the planet, that the ancestors of these people are actually controlling them. They're just acting on the original people's edicts, and we're still dealing with the same people that did all the original crap.
So
Interesting, right?
where would that put our people who were back in that day? Because I see what you're saying, but it seems like they have an interaction with their ancestors that we don't have.
They made sure of that. Everything that we used to do to stay connected to ourselves and to our ancestors, they killed it with religion, right?
Right.
Because it's almost like they made it a sacrilegious. Everything that we should do, they made it sacrilegious and heathen. You're a heathen. You're a savage behavior. Meanwhile, they studied that stuff down, wrote it down, locked it up, took the key, made it part of everything they do, even our pyramids, right?
Right.
Everything we saw sacred and powerful, they made it like, oh, that's that mojo ho, that's that whole that voodoo stuff. That's that
Right.
mumbo jumbo stuff that they do. And really, they want that. They know it better than we do now, but they can't do nothing with it. They aren't the right. They don't have the melanin. They don't have the power to do anything with our stuff, and that makes them mad. So they're able to do certain things with their negative energy and the technology that they stole from our ancient people, but they cannot really do what we could do if we were actually in line with our ancestors and with our daggone internal knowledge and gifts. We're not in line with that. We don't even sit in the dirt. We don't even want to daggone put our feet in water. We don't want to daggone touch a tree. We don't want to sit in the sun. We don't want to get our hair. What the word? We cannot connect with the animals. We're not trying to be around the animals, look at the animals. We are not in touch with our planet. So we are so freaking disconnected. And then we don't want to talk about the ancestors. We think that's wrong. Oh, the ancestors. They're talking to the ancestors. Oh no, I want Jesus.
Y'all don't hear me this morning.
Come on now. We had everything taken from us, okay? And that's part of it. They gave us, just like the food they took away from us that's killing us, that's giving us hypertension and freaking killing our kidneys. They took the real food and gave us fake food. I'm looking to raise actually I'm not looking to raise. We're starting to raise chickens and turkeys next week. We got our incubators and cages in place already, getting ready for the animals to come, the eggs to come and stuff. And in searching for turkeys and chickens and stuff, you realize they be, they be selling these things, and these things are clones, right? But they don't say they're clones. They say, oh well, due to their food and environment, they're unable to mate. What? They're clones. That's why you can't mate them. You selling clones.
Well, Lisa, let's get back to this Ginga Skin Indian Reservation sign. I want you to finish that up because this is interesting.
It is very interesting because where we had the summit, that's where the reservation was. And
Right.
the first thing, okay, this is the thing you're gonna do in the next our next episode of the Accowmackes, a part of the Indian history series animation, is gonna be crazy. It's not gonna be like the others. It's hard hitting, and it's getting into that history hard and real. And in getting into the history hard and real, what you realize is they inundated us. They can't, baby. The amount of boatloads of Europeans that came here, they ain't had no boats to spare to go to Africa. That's for real. That's for real. Because they wanted to outnumber us with troops. The Genghis Reservation was a prison camp. They pushed us off our desired waterfront properties. And you know what? Waterfront is everything. You cannot be landlocked. You got to be on your beaches. You got to be able to do your shell fishing, your regular fishing. Oyster farming is a thing, y'all. Crab and clamming, that's all big dollars. And it's for free. Why can you not do it if you're not on the water and you don't got no water access? But they give these companies and these conservation. And let me tell you, these companies are starting for free because then they're starting on grant money on your land, fishing, crabbing, and making profits. How is that possible? It's possible. Meanwhile, the cousins and the people who actually are the owners of the land are living in squalor on the land in trailers with no running water, while the people who are outside foreign invaders come in and get a grant and buy up all that shit, and then they get money to fix it up and live good and make money having tourism on your land. That's what's happening on the eastern shore and everywhere. Conservation is a con job. Conservation. They ain't preserving nothing. They conning you out of your daggone land.
I
Genghis Reservation Genghis Reservation was because they were greedy and they wanted that beachfront property and all that good soil where there was good farming. See, because the Gingerskin is actually near a marshy kind of area, the kind of swampy area of the ocean side. And it's swampy because we have islands blocking the ocean, the main Atlantic, you know. And even at Gingerskin, even on the reservation, well, I mean, John Smith was all over the place, and yeah, and he talks about everybody, including the Accowmackes, and yeah, and John Smith. Oh, John Smith has extensive diaries, and I just brought a copy of, you know, he has a volumes and volumes of diaries, and I just brought a big his big volume of diaries for, I got it for like 350, but now it's like a $900 if you look for it on Amazon. It's still available. I think it's like $900, but you know. And these things are going to be disappearing. So the Accowmackes, we try to buy that stuff up. We try to buy up every primary work we can, because this stuff is about to disappear from the internet and everywhere. Okay, so we yeah, definitely, Eugene. We I have heard about the Manahawk tribe, and I know that, you know, John Smith writes about a whole lot of different people, and you know, the thing is, John Smith was here picking up Indians for profit and for, you know, investigation, and for making us spies and turning us into, well, basically, turning us into spies and agents way early, like 1608. Yes, even before 1606, 1605. He's up here trying to, they were doing all kinds of investigation to make money, to figure out how to approach us, how best to manipulate us, what they could make money off. They investigated everything down to an insect in this daggone beast. They actually, Harrod, Thomas Harrod was a botanist and a scientist, and he looked at everything on the coast of Virginia, every little thing, including us, and especially us. And so, with the Gingerskin Reservation and calling it Gingerskin, Gingerskin, that's cute.
You can
And
see nigga skin.
Gingerskin, nigga skin, nigga
Right.
skin. And when they explain it to you, if you look it up on Wikipedia or wherever, it's gonna say, "Oh, it means gin drinking, saggy pants, lazy person." Man,
Right.
that's why there ain't nothing that says gin drinking that says ginka in the English language. That's bullshit. There is
Right.
no explanation for that word except what we know it is a anagram that's for nigga. And we
Right.
know the Indians were called niggas.
Right.
Check that. Check that. But let's understand how deep their game is. Let's go to that slide about the Jamestown. Because everybody heard of Jamestown settlement, right? We got Jamestown, we got what is it? They have a whole park, right? Jamestown settlement. They give you a little taste of history about Jamestown. And everybody acts like, oh, they just came here for a chance. Humble beginnings. They struggled. They built their daggone settlement. They struggled with starvation. They struggled with trying to make it. They tried to, the Indians helped them. Some of them fought them. Look at that. Look at that. That is, can you get a look, that is zoomed in some more? More, a little bit more, a little bit more. Okay, now you can see. Yeah. James Fort. You see, it's in a triangle, right? That's them, right? No, that's us. They take everything that we do and they use it against us. That's why they made that formation, because they knew that we know the power of that formation, and that's why they made it their fort in that formation, right? Double formation, double pyramid, right? Really, it's a triple pyramid. It's three. The power of three is very big too. The power of three, y'all look at that. And then look at the number of the dead going. Everything has a meaning. So look at, it's the power of three. Three triangles. Damn, I didn't even get that until I just told y'all. And then it's a fort. Can we hear? Can we kind of focus on the fact that it's a fort? It's James Fort. Everything was a fort. If you come in here peaceably to start a
Right.
new life, why you need a whole fort everywhere you go? It's war. It started as war. It's always been a war. We just didn't get it, and we got to get it. Wake up. You at war now. We at war then. The war never ended. It's a fort, y'all. That's all I got to say. It's a fort. It's not a settlement. The first word is fort. James Fort. They drop that off in your history books. They don't emphasize it. That's a fort. Look at the images, look at everything, and let it sink in your mind and understand the mindset of the people that came in here and how. And let me tell you, when you start to read, because like even Amani and I were looking, and we were both looking, I was like, what the world? Like they came in fast. Like they came in and they were taking up like 600 acres from the 6,000. I said 600, 6,000 acres from the jump. Good Quakers. Oh, we're good Quakers. Oh, you need to know Christ and Jesus. And we're going to show you the way, you savage beast. Because guess what? We're the good guys. We're the good guys. We're here to show you how to be good. We're going to bring goodness. Meanwhile, we've been living in peace, playing our basketball, football, having our battles were games. We worked it out in games. When we had beef, we worked it out through games. We didn't have to battle and kill each other. That's what we had fucking games for, to work out who was the victor. Why you think we had so many games? We weren't fighting each other. We were like the break dancers, breaking it off. Yeah, huh? Who danced it out better?
And
Who
why
can,
do every
you
and
know,
every
who
why
can
do
who can
everybody
play
want
better? Who can play better ball? We were doing that.
to, and everybody wants to pay to see you as an athlete?
Everybody wants to pay because that's us. Everything we do, everything they do, it's done in the world came from us. And we don't get it. The food, everything. The French are the best cooks. Bullshit. They was in Louisiana learning from them Indians. Everything comes from us. We changed, we made them, we brought everybody into civilization in the world, and we gotta understand that. And the Accowmackes show you. Our history proves that stuff. So Jamestown was a fort that was friggin' starving, and the Accowmackes had to help them out with food because the Pamunkey was like, fuck it, we're tired of you taking all our damn food, because we live within our means. We store food, but we don't over storage. We don't they make things waste. We're not greedy. So when they came and they were trying to be all friggin' greedy, it was killing our damn people. It was like destroying our storage. It was destroying our ability to take care of ourselves. And we were like, when you leaving? Get that. The Vikings were leaving. Why are you still here? But they came because they came to claim. And let's be real about this. They came here for commerce. And England really didn't intend to just like stay here and just keep everything. They had limits. They tried to control how much of the land and how much of our resources they used. They had some controls. But then what did they bring? Give me that slide about the slavery. They brought their white slaves with them, their refuse, their castaways, everybody that they wanted to get rid of, they sent over here. Their prisoners, the people that they were gonna hang on the noose, they said, no, if you don't want to hang, you go to America. So these people were gangsters. They were riffraff. And they promised a lot of riffraff that owed debts and did all kinds of stuff that, oh, we can get you some land after you pay off your debt. Well, these daggone suckers were already criminal types. Not criminal types, they were point blank criminals. And they brought them by massive boatloads. Too, so that way they know that there's safety in numbers. Some of them came as prisoners, straight prisoners. A lot of them came as soldiers. And if they got commendations, then they moved up the ranks. Then they were able to get more shit, like obtain land and status. Okay. So these people got the big head and the big greed. They saw all the abundance that we had. They saw that we were living right. Like, understand, we were not just the loincloths, that shit, sitting around and daggone. That was hot summer. That's like you wearing your shorts. We had coats and clothes. We wore the same shit they wore. We had the same daggone shit they had. We had everything because we were international traders. We probably got it before they did. Okay. We got the hottest and the newest shit before half of them saw that shit. Okay, because we had the resources to trade for the good stuff. Okay, understand that. Understand that. What did they got to trade with? Not much. What did we have? Everything. Good tobacco, good corn, good furs, all the kind of nice furs that they need in that cold climate. Okay, so we had all kinds of international stuff, books, art. It's recorded. People had full libraries of shit, especially in Florida. Them kings like to floss off. They got everything. They had all that gold and stuff. They had all kinds of stuff from Europe. It's recorded. So,
I'm I, I am having a problem
what's your
with
problem?
with the there we go.
Okay.
Right.
So they came here as white cargo. It wasn't they understand that you can't go all the way out to daggone Africa and bring people over here as cargo, okay, and think that's gonna work. And understand that half of these Europeans are fucking dark Europeans that are of African descent. Understand that's another part of the confusion that nobody talks about. Some of these Europeans was dark as hell, like Beethoven and nappy hair. It's a lot.
Yeah.
But but understand me that our daggone ancestors, although only a few of them, for a lot of us, are European, they, even the Europeans could have been dark people of color that you have in your family tree. You think that they're white, that ain't the case necessarily, right? Me and Amani was discussing that, Amani Bay. So, um, let's go on with this daggone white cargo and the fact that they came in such large numbers that in many places they outnumbered us. Okay, that's crazy. That's crazy how they changed the Accowmack land from the Accowmack land and the 1600s ended up being in the early six in like 1610 or whatever is Accowmack Kingdom they called it. By 1627 it was Accowmack Plantation. They took the whole our homeland and turned it into a plantation. Come on. How do you do that? They flooded us out, man. But at the same time, them calling the entire continent, the entire peninsula a plantation, understand that all that whole time we were still winning. We still had our farms and we were profiting and we were being tradesmen and we were benefiting from this new relationship with these newcomers. We were selling to them and selling via them in big ways. And the prosperity of our people did inspire jealousy amongst these people that were told they were going to come up in life. They're not, and then they come here and they're like, my God, the savages are doing better than I am. Ooh, then you got angry, poor slave people. European slaves are angry, resentful, and jealous. Not a good thing. So that's when they started to uprise and be like, we want more land. We moved them off their land. That's when the violence ensued. More violence. So in the Accowmackes, that's what happened with us. The wars happened because of the poverty of these settlers, their inability to adapt to living off the land and being on this land. They could not handle it. Do you understand that in our next cartoon we're gonna be talking about that they had what was called their starving time when they ate corpses, they ate each other. in 1610. 1610, they eating each other. Jamestown, my ass. Eating each other to survive. And you know how they stopped eating each other to survive? They married Pocahontas to get out of that shit. Or they said, we're taking, you want land? You want to stay on our land? You got to marry my daughter, Pocahontas, in order to get any land, because we don't give land to strangers. Now, understand, Pocahontas probably was a problem child. She probably had issues. She might have been a little cray cray because she already had a husband. He probably got rid of her. I'm thinking Pocahontas was off. That's why they willingly said, "Hey, take care of this problem child, and maybe we'll let you stay on the land. And in exchange, what are you gonna do for us? Well, we'll give you Barbados. We got this Barbados. This Bermuda. We got Bermuda, because there are documents talking about them bargaining to give our people Bermuda, right? So the promise goes on. Pocahontas gets killed because she really wasn't no wife anyway. They get the land, but they don't come across with no Bermuda. Then we fight them again. We're like, motherfuckers, you lied. The Indian War of 1622 ensues for a long time. You see what I'm saying? We were warring, and with each war, they took us as slaves, and where'd they take us? Bermuda, Barbados. Hmm. And then where do they actually claim? The governor of Virginia in 1708 clearly states that no Negro ships were on the shores of this continent, except those coming from Barbados. Our same people who were enslaved from war coming back to us as slaves. That's our slave trade. But the real slave trade was the white slave trade. And the white slave trade was our undoing, because these vagabond crazy people were like, fuck the queen. We ain't got to go back and we ain't got to listen to her. We taking this place. They were gangsters. They said, we ain't got to listen to them. We ain't got to give them part of our money. We just going to take this place right here. They broke off and said, we are gonna renegade, take over this daggone indigenous people's land. It was not necessarily the end that England necessarily envisioned for us to have, not at least not in that manner. But we had stone cold criminals who took over America. And we didn't know who to side with, because they were all both sides were selling us a pretty good bill of sales. Well, if you do this for us, you're gonna get status, and you're gonna get all this stuff, and we're gonna get you to trade, man. Oh, we're gonna have that trade game on fleek, and it's all this stuff's gonna happen. And then the other side, we're gonna protect you. We're gonna move out of here. We're gonna make sure all these daggone crazy people are under control, and da da da. You'll be on top, and you'll get everything. They're making promises to our people, right? We believe in it on both sides. Some of us on this side of the fight, some of us on the other side of the fight. Meanwhile, both of them are lying.
Do you
So,
see? Do you see where that trap is still being used today?
oh man, do y'all see where it's still being used today? We got one party on one side telling us one thing. We're going to do this for you because we love you. We care about the poor black person. And then the other people saying, look, we're going to do what's right and make sure the other people ain't coming into your country and taking over your country and taking over your stuff that you got. And yeah, yeah, it's the same story by the same damn people. It's not even history repeating itself. It's history continues. It continues. And if you don't get it, you'll never get it. And if you don't get the daggone fact that it hasn't stopped and let up at all, and it's the same damn people doing the same damn thing, you're never gonna get it. So now you got these people promising you stuff, they lying, and then they saying, look, we're gonna rename you because first of all, we don't know who the hell you are. According to our records, you're slaves. According, let me see here. Mm, yeah, you're a slave, you're colored. You're Negro, you're black. You're colored, you're a slave, you're Negro, you're black, and they you only people can only do to you what you allow them to do, right? So with the BIA, they tell people who's Indian. And all these tribes say, "Oh yeah,
I'm
yeah, Indian
Indian,
power,
bro.
Indian power. Yeah, thank you. I'm an Indian. I get to say I'm a real Indian. Let me see. I got the right complexion. Is it work? Let me see. Is it light enough? Am I Indian? You know, you know. They they allow that power to be assumed. The government, they granted the government. They didn't stand up and say, "Oh hell no, you ain't telling me I'm whether I'm an Indian or not." But when you're fraudulent anyway, somebody blessing you with the identity is a come up, right? When you're a whole Scottish person and somebody says you can have all of these thousands of land and slaves if you assume the role of the new chief of the Cherokee, right? John Ross, then you say, "Oh, this is a come up for me. I'm an Irish, ignorant, dark Irish. And instead of being a dark headed Scottish person, I can be a damn exalted Indian chief." Hmm. Then they did it again in the 1850s with the daggone Chinese working on the railways and going to daggone work on the gold rush. Instead of being a lowly Indian immigrant, you can claim Native American status. How about that? We'll train you how to farm. I don't know about farming. I'm kind of a nomad and I like hunting buffalo, but I'll do that. I'll be a native. It's a higher status. Hmm. I mean, it happens over and over again. Geronimo and Sitting Bull did not look Asian. Point blank, period. How do these people sit up there looking like straight Asians tell you that that's them? How can you sit up there and be the chief of the Cherokee now and look Asian and tell me that you don't want Pontiac or you don't want somebody using these names to be, I don't want daggone Jeep Cherokee. What? Please, you're not a Cherokee. How you become Asian? John Ross was Scottish. How'd it go from Scots to Asians? By legislature. That's how it all was done. Legislate us out, legislate them in.
Okay,
Thank you,
but
Paul.
okay? So you're absolutely right. I agree with you 100%. But what about our play into all of this? Because I find it hard to believe that we had nothing to do with it.
Of course, like I said, it's just like today. Just like today. Why is Kamal Bell with his white wife and whatever kids trying to get me? Why does he care about black folk anyway? He ain't trying to be with a black woman or be black. So why does he care about black folks to the point he wants to save them with a vaccine? He don't. He sees a come up by being a person of color representing the black. There is a major financial gain for him and his kind by misleading us as a celebrity overseer. He's a celebrity. We have social political. He's a celebrity overseer. There's a lot of money in that and protection and rights that he is gaining. And we always fall for it. And we fell for it then. We thought we were going to be protected. People got protected. What do you think daggone Harriet Tubman is? She's a Kamal Bell. She's a Black Lives Matter. That's what
You know,
Harriet Tubman was.
I think when you really look at that, when you really look at what you're saying, you can just see how it keeps repeating itself over and over and over and over.
Absolutely. It keeps repeating. Why do they keep pushing Harriet? Harriet was a government spy. She was a Kamal Bell. She was daggone. She was daggone a what's his name? Jesse Jackson. She was Moses leading you down the wrong road. Oh, we all the slaves and we gotta be free, and it's so terrible. No, most of her family was free. That wasn't the case. They was trying to take the land from the people that had the land. And that was mostly us. They wanted to take the slaves away. Let me tell you something. When you crush, the South had all kinds of money, and a lot of that money and land was coming from cotton and from us, and a lot of us owned the daggone cotton, the cotton farms, the cotton plantations. They did not want all the money to disappear from the North. You can't walk away with the money. You're not allowed to walk away with our damn money. So what did they do? They said we gotta create a whole kind of upset about this damn slavery thing. We got to get everybody upset about it. So they created a political a manipulation, a propaganda, a media blitz on slavery. Let's get somebody to be the token slave freer that we can plaster all over the daggone billboards and all over the towns and Moses. We're gonna use the Bible, right? We're gonna use the Bible in this. Call him Moses. She's an
Hold,
agent. And they
hold on.
still using her to pull us into some kind of image of the fact that we were such downtrodden slaves when we were winning the fucking whole time. They were slaves. We had plantations. If you look in the Accowmack records, and the more people look, different people look at my records like Amani, they're like, Dad, you had all kinds of people that had farms and land.
So do you think
Where is it? Where is the slavery that was so fucked up that none of us was making it? There was slavery that was fucked up that none of us was making it, but there's a good majority of us that were winning big, and that was the problem. That's what they needed to destroy. We couldn't keep winning because you couldn't justify keeping your cousins locked up if the daggone Negroes is in up there. Hey, whoa, we got a new wagon, we got a bigger house, we got this. You know what? You can't have those two dynamics all together, right? It's not going to work. First of all, thus the Trail of Tears had to happen because they were turning some of us into forever slaves, and we knew we weren't no damn slaves, and we weren't having it. And then our free people of color who had shit were like, nah, take my gun, let's fuck this shit up. And they were like, oh, hell no, you're not hanging with your cousins then here. You got to go across the country with some other damn designated Indians that we already got out there. Go out there with them. And you got to be separated from your free people out here because you fucking up our money, because this is the place that is actually vibrant and daggone productive. And we're winning out here. You go out there to the no man's land. And then they push some of us out to no man's land into the oil. So then we win again because we end up being in the oil fields. Pushed on to oil fields, winning again. And then when we start making that go, oh, let's build a whole town. Let's do a day. We're going because every time you take a foot off of our neck, your knee off of our neck, we're going to do some shit. We're going to win. Right? You just got to take it off for a little while. Take it off our neck. We're going to make things happen. We're magic like that. We're magic. So what do? We got the Black Wall Street. Oh, we got to bomb that shit. See? Come on, y'all. It's happening. They don't care what they destroy as long as they killing. There ain't nothing good. Ain't no good Indian but a dead Indian. They got to get rid of us by any means. This is the last try. Not even a try. They're destined to do. They are determined to get it done this time.
You see Bill Gates doing his granddaddy's work, huh?
Exactly. And then let's show look at this. This is conservation. This is what conservation looks like. This used to be sand dunes, y'all, and I can't even tell you. Y'all think of sand dunes like a little hill you can walk up. No, I'm talking sand dunes several stories high. We used to climb these sand dunes to get to the water, right? This is where we, as our family, the Accowmackes, we used to party in the 60s and the 70s and the 50s and the 40s, 30s. Always, this was Accowmack playground. And then they put a no trespassing sign up. I didn't give you that footage. I do have a picture of the no trespassing sign because now they took it down. And now when I walked on the beach this past summer, I saw how they scraped the sand away for profit. And they had it hidden behind a no trespassing sign. But all the Europeans that live on the coast where we don't live saw the barges. All the Europeans that live on the coast heard the trucks hauling the sand away. Did they care cry out, "Oh, conservation"? Oh, no. They didn't say a damn thing. Look at the trees falling over. No root system. Do you know how many animals, bugs, wildlife was killed in the decimation of these sand dunes? There's critters that live in the sand that's gone. They help keep everything balanced. But they're conservationists. They're here to protect the planet. Roll that footage, can you, of this daggone seed pack so y'all can understand their mindset and what we're really working with.
This is cold, y'all. This is you said started at
117.3.
Okay.
Russia. Why are those the two big countries we talk about most? And that is because when you think about the threats to the United States,
It's not showing.
I am.
Objective, and what is their ability to carry out that objective? And of those two countries, China, as KT said, has the desire, the will to replace the United States as the global superpower, and now they have the greatest ability to carry that out, economically, militarily, and then tech. And I'm going to talk most about that third basket. Russia, still a very serious problem, doesn't have the same kind of engine that China has economically. They have a lot of nuclear weapons, and so they are a serious competitor that we care about greatly, and they have the desire to undermine the United States, but they don't have the engine and the ability like China has to carry out just the amount of destruction that China can to undermine the United States and replace the United States as the global preeminent power. Why does it matter for the United States to remain the global preeminent power? Because the country that has the biggest economy and the biggest military and the most alliances and partners is going to be able to put our fingerprint on things like trade, and on things like travel and commerce. And we know, certainly as conservatives and as Americans, that the United States has the moral high ground there. We want to put the United States' influence on things like trade and global business, et cetera, and commerce. And so we have to fight for that. Now, that means militarily, it was Donald Trump. It was the Trump administration that said, enough is enough. The United States is going to have our lunch eaten, Joe Biden, if we don't do something about it. And it's going to happen by the Chinese Communist Party. And so what does that mean? It means we have to start competing. And it was the Trump administration that really oversaw this seismic shift and helped the United States to take the Chinese threat seriously. And so we have to put money into our military to make sure that we are deterring Chinese aggression in the Western Pacific. We want to stand with our Taiwanese partners, great contributors to the free world, our South Korean allies, our Japanese allies, our Australian allies. And we want to make sure that we are able to make good on our security commitments to them and that China can't push us out. That's the military piece. Economically, that's why we get into trade, a trade war with the Chinese. But on tech, the Chinese want to use technology to censor and to steal. Remember those two things, censor and steal. That's how they do it. And so
Censor and steal.
Having these 5Gs, the next generation technology abilities of fast speed internet. Again, the previous administrations We have to have clean network initiative. Our Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, was the face of that. He said the UK can't have their Huawei, and we can't deal with these other technology companies and 5G networks. It has to be clean, and we can't let them take our data and our allies' data as well. We have to have clean network technologies. So it's going to take a federal level. We can't let ZTE and these other companies steal the United States' information technology, and we can't let them censor the United States. And so those are the big things. It's going to be federal level, state level. We've got a great example here in Florida with a state representative that KT knows well. Her daughter is the state representative here, introduced a piece of legislation to make sure that Floridians have to concede, they have to agree to have their data handed over to technology companies, to take ownership of their own technology. So it's going to take federal level work, state level work, and it's going to take individual. This is my last point. You individually have to care that your data is not being sucked up by the Chinese Communist Party and by big tech. You have to care enough because they can muscle us out, but they can also win by our acquiescence, and that's something that we can't do. So look and see what technology you're using. Do not buy commercial technology and drones off the shelf that are made in China. There's no distinction in China between the private sector and the military. They take all of it and they apply it, put it in artificial intelligence and quantum computing.
Okay, let's go. Now, that's enough for her.
Okay.
And I will leave it there to continue our discussion.
That's the point of this. I don't know, some people kind of can't handle it. But what the point that she did make is that why do we have to fight to be a global superpower? Why? And that is like amazing. She said, why do we want to be a global superpower? Because of China and Russia's ability to displace us as superpowers. Why do we care about being the global preeminent superpower, she says? Because we want to have the big control over the alliances, the commerce, and the travel. We want to have the biggest fingerprint in trade, travel, and commerce. It's all the same things they came here to be. Big fingerprint and trade, travel. They want to control the seas, who goes where. That's why they're everywhere. That's why they have daggone military installations, forts everywhere. They want to control your travel, control the commerce, and control the trade. Same goals of the 1500s are the same goals that we have today. These people are still trying to do it. And you know what she said? I don't know if you guys peeped this. Why does America need to be the influence, the biggest influence? She says this, right? She says, because America has the moral high ground.
Bullshit.
We are Christians. We're good. And we're the good guys.
Bullshit.
So we want to be the ones. We have to be the ones that are in the lead. We have to be the superpower because we have a moral high ground on this planet. That's why it's destined. It's manifest destiny that we are the ones who need to be the preeminent global power. And the way they're doing it now is their no holds bar unification of the parties. That these parties were always unified, but now they're like, no matter what, we on the same team. No matter what, we winning. No matter what, we getting these indigenous people of this planet under control. No matter what.
So how should the indigenous Americans look at this or take this?
The main goal of indigenous people has to be enlightenment and putting light on this dark truth. The more we actually educate and inform and become enlightened and actually speak out to these entities that we know what the fuck you are. We know you're greedy. We know you create a spirit of lack within the world, and there is no lack. It is an illusion. They create lack to create profit, to create power, to create gain. There is no absence of land. There is no too much people for the planet. There is no lack of resources. They create these things. They create disease. They create lack. They create pain. They create suffering. Do you understand that most of our pain, suffering, lack, and power problems are man-made? It starts in our minds and it ends there. We have to believe that we are in control of our destinies and we can create the abundant world that we know we live in. And we have to tell them to get gone with their daggone spirit of lack, their greed, their hate, their insecurity, because they have planted that amongst us. And we brought it hook, line, and sinker. We hate each other. We're jealous of each other. We compete. What about this? You see this global world power? Why the fuck they want to compete so fucking much? What the fuck is, what is it that you're really winning? Not a damn thing. What are they really winning? It's a freaking illusion. It's a sick mindset. And we are becoming part of that mindset. We have people who totally are into that mindset. They are European in their mannerism, their genealogy, and how they move.
But Lisa, wasn't that what integration was about?
Integration was about trying to get us right, to get us to, well, no, it's been a continuous, it's not even, all these things are the same thing at different junctures in history. Indian schools, the Quakers coming, the different religions, the so-called European influence. Everything was a process in trying to make us feel and believe as they believe. The whole religion had a very big part of it. Oh, you're going to go to hell. You're going to go to hell. You got to be scared. God is an angry God. He's a vengeful God. We don't, what is all that? They want you to have fear. They want you to feel fear, being starving and everything. And they didn't even have to starve, but their ignorance and their fear and their spirit and their mindset creates that. It generates it. We have a spirit and mindset of abundance, but they took that away from us. And now we got the same mindset that they want us to have, that lack, that fear, that, I got to save myself. I got to save myself. Oh, forget you. Forget you. It's me. Selfishness. That selfish spirit that we had, which we never had, because they wouldn't even be here if we were selfish-minded people. We are never been selfish-minded. And now we're so selfish, we hate ourselves and we hate each other, and we got to stop. We got to stop immediately. This whole infighting among the indigenous, this one, I like everybody. Why everybody got to freaking fight so much? We got to stop talking shit about each other. We got to stop the spirit of hate, the spirit of pettiness, the spirit of lack. Oh, he gonna get more likes than I am. Oh, he gonna use my information and he gonna do a YouTube about it. And he gonna, what? Y'all being crazy. We are being stupid pawns when we behave in this manner. That's slave mentality for sure.
Y'all getting this? Y'all don't bring her on for nothing.
My mom thinks tithes and offering are the Lord's money. The Lord is in you. You become the God that you're supposed to be when you do the things that are going to make you a better person. And you do better things to people. When you take care of your people, that's when you become that God you're supposed to be. You have to be a better person. It's not because you get more likes. It's because you're a better you. You work on you. We should have a church that tithes and builds money and bank accounts that we can give money to each other. That's what we need to do. Tied to each other.
And stop giving it to everybody else.
Use our tithes to build. We need to take over these empty church buildings and start our own indigenous religions where we worship and we praise and we dance and we give money, but we give money so that we can have our own bank account. So we have our own credit unions. So when, Tomahawk Tony or whoever or Phoenix Moon comes and said, I want to do this project, we can give them money. Oh, me and Tomahawk Tony and Phoenix Moon gonna work together on a project. We fund it. And I am saying those names on purpose because y'all need to get that shit together. No, not that shit. Y'all need to get your personal shit together. Stop being petty. Stop holding on to hurts and injuries. We're grown people. Guess what? We heal. We heal. Injuries do not last forever unless you want them to. You want to bleed forever? Go on, bleed to death. That's ridiculous. And all y'all to team up and choose sides, you're stupid. There ain't no winning side. Ain't nobody better than the other. She ain't right and he ain't wrong and all this shit. That's stupid. Stop being super fans. You are a superstar yourself. You better than everybody got a gift. Just because you like that one's gift don't mean you ain't got a gift. Stop being a stupid fan. Don't stop being stupid. Stop worshiping people.
Everybody is a star.
Yeah, everybody is a star. That's right. So understand the star that's inside you. Understand that you got things to do. Understand that that is the best gift in the world. When you learn how that you are wrong, when you get the gift of like, damn, I was so wrong, and you can laugh about it, and you like, oh man, I had that shit completely wrong. And it's like you accept it and embrace it, and you're like, damn, I really learned from that shit. That was fucking amazing. Excuse my French, but that's amazing. That is the biggest gift you can have, is to see yourself in the wrong and to be happy that you discovered something that has made you better. I don't know if y'all hear that. I don't know if y'all know what I'm talking about, but if you have the ability to experience it, it is amazing. And you're not going to experience it till you let go of your fucking ego. And I did mean to say that. Let go of your damn ego. And once you let go of your ego, you will have the ability to experience the enlightenment of like, dang, I was freaking a jerk. I was being an idiot. I was being wrong. And that whole emotion of being able to realize that and like be like, dang, what the world was going on with me? That whole experience of actually being able to actually acknowledge that something like that is extremely powerful. And it fills your heart with something that I can't even describe. I can't even describe it. And then to be able to convert an extreme hate to an extreme love. Have you ever done that? Have you ever done that? Have you ever converted an extreme hate to an extreme love, an extreme admiration, an extreme respect at the very least? I can't even tell you what that is. I can't. You have to make it a life goal to be able to convert a hate into at least a respect. But even better is to be like, I love that. I love that dude. That dude is so cool. Like, you know what I mean? To be able to convert, I hate that nigga. That nigga's crazy. He's a coon. To be able to convert all kinds of things, the derogatory things you're saying about somebody, to all kinds of praise that you actually feel is so powerful. And big ups to Cecil, because that's what happened in our daggone conflict. I was able to convert extreme detest into like extreme respect, and that's because he's a real damn man. Because a real damn man, look at me, a real damn man has the ability and the patience to go there. How about that? And a real damn woman is going to take the time to go to try to make the healing happen. How about that?
How about that, Lisa? You have a summer coming up in October.
Right.
You have all kind of things going on with the Accowmackes. Could you
Right.
please
We're going to
give
be doing some things. We talk about the healing, and there's a thought that I have. We'll see what happens with doing a healing, some kind of healing conference for women, and also a healing, a man conference being done by, headed up by my cousin, um, standing Rock, David Standing Rock, because he does that in Philly, and we need it. We need the men to need to heal, and they need to know what it is to be a man, and what it takes to actually develop other men, and that's something that needs to happen. But if the women ain't right, the whole nation ain't right. If we ain't healed, the whole nation can't heal. So we really gotta definitely focus on women being not being hurt but being healed, and to be the healers that we can be for each other and for the whole nation. So definitely a major goal, even though it's not my major strength. It's definitely my major goal. But
so
that's
Lisa,
it.
how does
Oh, in
one
October, and in October, we're definitely gonna have the summit, and that's gonna be the 9th through the 12th in Eastern Shore in Indian Town Park, where the reservation, where you can actually stand on the ground of the Ginkaskin Reservation, and you can get your feet in the soil. And we're gonna be on those beaches, and we're gonna be just going to his real indigenous sites, historical sites, so you can feel the history. I've got books. I've got all kinds of historical books you can actually see in living color, and actually, in person, and all kinds of different information. So yeah, it's fun, and we have music. We have a saxophonist that's been coming, and we got all kinds of stuff going on. It's going to be a good thing.
also check out, Lisa? What's your Facebook page so people who are on that platform could
I'm
contact
in
you?
jail right now, but yeah, I'm Lyran Cypress on Facebook. I'm in jail. We also have an American Accowmack Indians page, that in a group, both a page and a group that are public. Please go there. We have a website, accowmack.org, where you have the ability to donate. And that's basically it. We're doing big things. We're trying to make things happen. Like I said, people are seeking us out. They're hearing our story. They're seeking us out. We are the first actual people that can actually claim the things that we claim, and we're out front. There are other tribes that they know who they are, but they try to be quiet about it. They try to be easy about it. They're not trying to actually proclaim that they are the original people that are, and they always were, and they are Negro. They try to sugarcoat it. They try to work with the lies that have been told, and work, and they try to just like kind of paint within the lines. We're not doing that. We're going to paint our own story, the real story, and that's how we're going to do it. And we need to change the story. The story must change, because the story is a lie, and that's how the Accowmackes are working it. And that's why the Accowmackes are blowing open the freaking gates for the whole daggone indigenous nation. Thank everyone.
Y'all heard it. Lisa, thank you for joining us tonight. I appreciate you. I love you. And I want to say this to all the people out there. I know many of you are part of you've integrated with other people. You ran away from yourself. You hated yourself. What we're saying tonight isn't for you. Like Lisa said earlier, her grandparents from both sides are Accowmackes. We want the people who America produced, not the people who came over here to get what America produced, but what America produced. All you people that want to pick up other ideologies and pick up other religions, and the other people, please enjoy yourselves. Knock yourselves out. But you people who know that your mamas, your great-grandmamas, your great-great-grandmamas, America produced them, you better wake your asses up. You better wake your asses up. We'll see you tomorrow night. Peace.